Hi everyone. I mentioned this point before that the relationship between teacher and student in today's education no longer exists. Today, education is business, and the relationship is now between a customer and a service. So don't be surprised if one day you find yourself in Google Maps where people can give you stars. And as far as I know, that in some online platforms people can do that, can give stars or an evaluation to models, to teachers. This feature does exist in a lot of online platforms. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why is the teacher the best option to blame, the best person to blame. In other words, why is the teacher in today's education is considered as the safest and the best scapegoat. First things first. If you're not talking about the teacher's faults or the teacher's problems, which I'll talk about later, what are the factors that govern the reasons why the teacher is the one to be blamed? One, the way groups are created. It's something I talked about in one of my videos. Most, but not all, language courses and companies follow a system of or a placement test which they use to divide the students into groups. This placement test is based on, or is actually a sheet of paper which contains several questions with multiple answers, and so the students can simply pick the answer they think is the best. And so in the test actually it gives an image about the level of the answers, not the level of the students. The students simply guess the answers. They have no idea why this answer is correct and that answer is incorrect. And that's why you can find students in B1 group who don't know the basics of the present simple. Or you can find some students in an A1 review or A2 review who don't know the cardinal numbers. And I say review, which means they have already studied the topic or the material before, and they are reviewing it. Unfortunately, they don't even know the basics. This is a result of wrong placement tests. The system from the very beginning is wrong. And as I said before, the teacher is the one to blame. And this reason leads us to the next reason, and reason number two, which is different levels in the same group. I'm not talking here about B1 and B1 plus level, some levels which are close to each other. No. I'm talking about levels between A1 and B1. You can find students in an A1 level or who have an A1 level studying in a group of B1 level. Why? Because the results of their placement test shows that they had to be in a B1 level. So here you have two options. Either to slow down so the weak students can catch up with the rest of the group, which will result in negative feedback, or be fast and continue teaching the material you're supposed to teach, as I mentioned in my last video. And so the result is the weak students are like statues. And in both cases, you are the one to blame. Cultural differences. Now it might be surprising, or it might sound surprising to talk about this point, but it is one of the reasons why you might receive negative feedback, especially if you live in a country or in a society where there are multiple nationalities. For example, I lived in Ukraine for 8 years. I knew the people, I knew the habits, the social traditions, etc. And I could communicate with them. And in most cases, 99% of the times, I dealt only with Ukrainians. So it was easy for me to know what's good, what's bad, what's right, and what's wrong. Despite the fact that in my very first year I made some mistakes, but my boss protected me. But in other societies, for example, in Germany, where I live now, you can find or you can have 10 students in the same classroom, 10 students from 10 different countries, which means 10 different societies. And here is a bit of problem because, as we all know, what's good in one society might be wrong in another society. So the whole lesson, you should be worried, you should be nervous. You don't know, should I say this? Should I say that? If I say this, would it be misunderstood by some people? So you're actually paying attention to not saying something accidentally which might hurt someone. So you are distracted, you are not focusing on the lesson, you are not focusing on the material, you are not using your skills or the experience you have gained throughout the years. Your attention is only on what you are saying. Yet you are likely to fall victim to some, to some misunderstanding. Because if we're talking about a lesson of 3 hours, like several days of like five days a week, so you will fall victim to let's say you will fall in this trap. And of course, at the end, the students will blame you, your boss will blame you. It's like, let me describe it as walking in a minefield. Every next step could be your last. You don't know where there is a mine, when there is no mine. You don't know if you are making one or you will have the chance to make a second step. 4. Students want to use old school. Now, sometimes students protest why you don't use their mother tongue during the lesson. And here it might be a bit of a problem because they want you to use the same methodology which they used to have as kids at school. And it's something which is wrong today because today the brand is communicative approach. So you are not supposed to use the first language or their mother tongue. So you can either ignore what they are saying and continue using the methodology you are supposed to use, which is popular today, but God knows about tomorrow, but at least today it's popular. You can use this, you can continue using this methodology, and later the students would complain about you, or you can use their mother tongue if you speak it, of course, and in that case you'll be breaking the rules of the company where you work, and again you'll receive negative feedback. In both cases, you'll receive negative feedback. Remember, you did not listen to your students, no, you did not listen to your customers. Again and again, you are the best scapegoat. You are the best person to blame by your boss and by your company. For those reasons and for other reasons, which I may talk about in a future video, I'm planning to do that. The company you are working for would never consider its system as a wrong system. And if you are talking about big companies, well-known companies, which these companies have many clients and they might have been in business for a very long time. Anytime you criticize something or you say something is wrong, no one will believe you. They'll always say, who are you to judge this company? Now, of course, these companies haven't become so famous for nothing, but it doesn't mean they have a good system. Maybe they have a good system because they listen to their customers again and again. But they simply don't pay attention, or they don't listen to the teachers. They don't give the teachers the margin to maneuver or to try and change something, because for them, okay, we are a big company, we have a lot of clients, we have native speakers, we have people who have CELTA and Delta, blah blah blah, and who are you to judge them? You are no one. You are actually no one. So whenever there is something wrong, the teacher is the one to be blamed. When the room is hot, it's the teacher's fault. When the book is bad or not interesting, it's the teacher's fault. When there is no electricity, this is the teacher's fault. When a divorce, this is the teacher's fault. When it's raining, it's the teacher's fault. Anything happens, it's the teacher's fault. Why? Because if you say that it's the teacher's fault, okay, just change the teacher with another one. You can find a lot of people. But no one would say it's the company's fault. So, whenever your boss says, we are trying to provide our students with the best experience, no, don't believe them. They're liars. They're lying. They know that you're right. Let's say 99% of the cases, they know that you're right. They know that it's their fault, but they cannot say, oh, well, you are right. We should change this, we should change that, but we cannot do that because this might damage the reputation of our company. But if we change you, well, who would care about you? Well, there are thousands of people who could take your place. So, out. Students will give negative feedback about the book, about the location, about the rooms, about the technology in the room, but they will never give any negative feedback about the teacher's methodology or the way the teacher gave the lesson. Yet, your boss, your company will blame you. They will never blame the company. Never. The last point, remember that teachers are no angels. Of course, we all make mistakes. Of course, we are not perfect. But in this video, I'm talking about fake teachers. I'm not talking about real teachers with certificates, with qualifications, with good and long experience. Not everyone can be a teacher. And that brings us to the end of the video. And unfortunately, in most of my videos, I try to give some suggestions. But actually, here, the only suggestion I can give is maybe we can raise the voice. Maybe we can draw the attention to this problem. Maybe we can, when we sign the contract with this company or that company, maybe we can talk to the boss. Maybe we can discuss these points that based on what we're given more projects, based on what our reputation goes up and down. Maybe we can clarify these things before signing the contract, before we kick off with this company. That's what I can suggest. Unfortunately, as I said, companies or language courses or language schools who really care about the teachers are really rare to find, very difficult to find. So we are mostly dealing with business companies, care only about business. Yeah, they might use names like, yeah, we have Celta, we have Delta, we have, I don't know what. They are not native speakers, they teach at universities. And again, giving a lecture at university is one thing, and teaching a lesson in the classroom is a different thing. So that's what I wanted to say in this video. I hope we can raise the voice. I hope we can at least try to solve this problem, to draw their attention, to draw people's attention to this problem. If you have any stories, if you have anything to tell, anything or any skill, any situations to share, to discuss, please don't hesitate to do so in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later.